Welcome to Sabrina Williams Identity. I'm your host Sabrina, where I deliver the hottest tea. Today is my girl Melissa. Hi, Boo.
Hey.
How are you? I feel like I haven't seen you forever though.
I know.
It's been like
we haven't seen each other since the Deliver Our Love screening, which was like
April.
Yeah,
it was like the weekend of my sister's birthday. So Miss Melissa, you are a producer.
Mm-hmm.
You did amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Yes. And so tell us a little bit about like how you produce, like how you actually enter the industry as a producer.
Well, it was kind of weird. So like I went to Lincoln University and
That's like HBCU.
yes, HBCU, the first one.
The
Okay, no,
first.
they don't know. No, but when I went to Lincoln, I changed my major the second semester of my junior year. So when I changed, I was a bio major first.
Well, hold up, what?
Yeah.
A bio?
Mm-hmm.
I cannot, well, no offense, I don't see you doing bio at all. Like,
no, I was super into biology. Like, at first I wanted to be like that forensic scientist that cut open the bodies, told people like the cause of death. Like, I wanted to do that so bad.
You actually like being around dead people.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, I was like really attracted to that. But then, ended up like cutting my finger one day and I fainted and I was just like, you know what? Maybe I need to go back and revisit. So I changed my major the second semester of my junior year and I switched it to mass communications.
Hey.
Yeah. So when I switched it, I needed to play like catch up for real. Like it was crazy. So I was just like trying to intern anywhere that I can, but when I graduated my senior year, because I graduated that following year, so I was like doubling up on classes like crazy.
You did summer school too?
I did do a few summer school classes too, so I can graduate.
Summer school's not that bad though.
It was fun. It was actually more fun than like regular college, in my opinion. But like, so yeah, so when I did that, I crossed the stage, I acted like I graduated, my mom had no clue, and I was missing one credit. So when I got back home, I was like, you know what, like, I'm just gonna utilize the heck out of this one credit. So I was like, you know what, I applied to all these internships, so I ended up getting an internship at Wendy Williams, Fox 5, and BET at the same time. So I was like, I know. I was like doing the most. So I was waking up at 12 a.m. to be at Fox by 2 a.m., being at Fox from 4 a.m. to 12 p.m., then rushing over to BET to be there from 12:30 to 6:30. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had Wendy only. Yeah. I know, I was doing a lot.
You remind me, like, that kind of reminds me of my schedule in undergrad.
Mm.
But I had 2 internships.
Yeah.
And it was back to back.
Mm-hmm.
A part-time job.
Oh yeah, I had a
Vice
job.
president of student ambassadors.
Yeah.
I was always up until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Doing schoolwork, full-time student. Girl, I was tired. And I was working 2 jobs too.
Yeah. It gets crazy. But when you really love what it is that you're doing, it doesn't even matter. You're like, whatever, I'm gonna put in the extra work, it's okay.
Exactly.
Because I was also working at Aldo too in the midst of it. So,
exactly.
It was 50% discount with Aldo. That was because they paid you like crappy. So then they gave you 50% off of the shoes.
Okay, you know what? I think should it pay better now?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's the same. It's commission based.
It really is commission?
I think so.
I mean, it's always like hourly at least.
I think it's still hourly, but I think you still get like commissions off of it too. But you don't get a lot of hours. I think that was.
Oh, see, mine, I got hours. It was commission and hourly.
Yeah.
That's crazy though.
Mm-hmm.
So you was working out and doing all 3 internships.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know what? What was your number one? Like, what was your favorite internship, and what did you learn from it?
I think I have to say my favorite one was Fox 5's internship because I was working on Good Day New York.
Okay.
And with Good Day New York, it was like a live show, so I like being all over the place. So since it was live, it was like this has to be right, like there's no time to go back and do it again. So I like that energy, and of course, like you were meeting like tons of people there too. But with BET was cool too. I liked the environment that I was in, but you know, we were only covering like black news. So it was like, listen, like I'm trying to wait for something to pop up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can cover it. So I'll be sitting there sometimes like, what am I gonna cover? Like I'm just waiting for something to happen. So that was like my only thing. But yeah, I feel like that was like my favorite one. With Wendy, I was on the Hot Topics team, so that was cool.
That would be my favorite.
Yeah, it was.
That would be
It
my
was
favorite.
cool.
I'm like, ooh, what happened? Oh, okay, he did that, girl. You must have remembered
Yeah,
that. Like,
that's exactly what it was. And also like looking up pictures too, and like making sure we can reuse the same photos.
Yeah.
Like, that sort of thing.
I noticed that they do switch the photos. They don't use the
Mhm.
same photos. And Wendy, she always have to make sure. Well, her number one, I call her number one boyfriend, number one man.
Yeah.
She was like, "Is the picture up? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Show
yeah.
the picture." I love Wendy.
Yeah.
Like we was talking about earlier, like I absolutely love Wendy. I love her hustle. I love I love everything about her, and I love how real she keeps it.
Yeah. She's dope.
She changed a lot of people's life in this industry. She probably outed a lot of people too, but
For sure.
she doing her thing though. She tells you the truth,
Yeah.
even if you want to hear it or not.
Mm.
You better get over it.
That's true. Actually, the crazy thing is I didn't even meet Wendy on the Wendy Williams show. So like my first interaction with Wendy was when I was also interning at Fox 5. So when I was interning at these 3 places, I met her at the Fox 5 internship. And so she had came in to like do an interview. I was like, hey girl, like I actually am your intern too on these days out of the week or whatever. And I was like telling her that. She was like, what? Are you serious? And I was like, yeah. She was like, okay girl, like you're definitely gonna make it if you have this drive.
Yeah, you are. And you still have this drive.
I'm trying.
You gonna make it. I mean, you already made it. You just work with Nate Parker.
Yeah.
Do you not know, like, all the actors, all the young ones, I have to say Nate Parker, when he wrote Birth of a Nation and directed and actually, like, acted on it, I was like, yo, like, he's a triple dip. You gotta love him.
Yeah, he's incredible. And I mean, within the Nate Parker Foundation too, like the things that he's teaching the kids in this institution is kind of like how to work like him in a sense, where these children are there, well not children because they're young adults too, but they're there for a week. And the first couple of days is just them going through different workshops. And then after that, it's like they have 3 to 2 days where they're pitching a short film, they're writing that short film, and then they're shooting that short film. And it's done within a 2 to 3 day period. It's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually how he works too, because look
That
at
is
Birth of
how
a
he
Nation.
works.
I think he shot that, like, he said in 2 weeks.
I'm not even sure when he shot that. But
He's
his current,
shot that,
yeah.
but I remember the first time I ever saw him was on one of my favorite movies, The Great Debaters.
Yeah.
Love that movie. And I was like,
That's the thing too, with Nate Parker's Foundation, like they have the institute on that college campus where Great Debaters, came about.
that's so dope.
Super historical, and it's interesting because it's an HBCU, and that HBCU is in Marshall, Texas, which is crazy.
Okay, you know what? There's HBCUs all over, but I never knew there was one in Texas. That's sad because we went to HBCU.
Mm-hmm. And mine was in an Amish area.
Yeah, I remember. I'm like Lincoln, because I always heard of Fisk. My guidance counselor, she went to Fisk University. She was like, yeah, we're the #1 school, and she was like, she went to Fisk. But going to Norfolk State, instead I wanted to go to Clark, but I ended up going to Norfolk State. Yeah. But I love my experience. And
I love mine too. I don't feel like there's any experience like an HBCU.
Did you feel that the HBCU prepared you for your career choices now, like your job?
Yeah, no, honestly I do. Just because we used to have a lot of convocations on campus. Like, well, this happened my junior year. We started having like these convocations. And when I got into Mass Comm, Jeff Johnson had came. So when Jeff Johnson came to speak, I was like, I'm utilizing everything. So when he spoke, I'm like, nope, getting the contact right after that. Ended up getting his contact. I worked on his radio show that he had in DC. So I like went out to DC, and I was a part of the concert choir. So we went to sing in DC. Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so we went to DC to sing. And I was like telling my choir director, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna stay here actually. I'm not coming back on the bus with y'all. So is that gonna be okay? He's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, good. So I hit my friend up. I'm like, hey girl, I gotta stay with you because she had just graduated. So I'm like, I have to stay with you. Jeff Johnson has this radio show out here. And so I went over to his radio show, like helped out a little bit, kept in contact with him and stuff like that. And like every now and then, like I still kind of reach out. But it was like my contact kind of got like, it kind of died out a little bit just because I had moved to China for a year. And then when I had moved, I had to switch email addresses because I couldn't use my Gmail anymore. I could only get a Yahoo. So I was like, oh my God, like now I gotta contact everybody and let them know like this is the email I can use for this year. Because you know, they have a block on certain things.
It's like Germany. I know when I was going up in Germany, we had a block. They have a block on everything. They can't use Cash App.
Yeah.
I'm like, you serious? So my mom, she has to send me money. It has to be through Western Union. We have like connecting banks.
Yeah.
But I'm about to get off the subject. You used to work for Hot 97.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you actually start working at Hot 97?
So I started working there because after the 3 internships, I landed a job at Fox. So I was just, that was the goal. I was like, listen, these 3 internships, I gotta land a job at one of these 3 places. Like, that has to happen. So I landed it was called a trainee position at Fox. And that lasted 6 months. So within that 6 months, I met Lisa Evers, who is the host of Street Soldiers. So when I met her because I found out she was doing an interview with someone, and I asked to like tag on. I was like, oh, afterward, can I like come with you to like do the interview? I just want to watch. I just want to shadow. She was like, yeah, cool. So after that, I had already known that she worked for Hot 97 too and had her own show there. So after the interview, I was like, hey, like if you need any assistance on this show, like I'm definitely down to help. So she was like, okay, cool. Like whenever you're available, like we shoot these days during the week. Like if you want to come by, like to see what it is. And that's kind of how it started. So I developed my relationship with her that way. And then I was working on that show ever since like 2014 up until like 2018.
Oh, so like
Yeah. So I was working on that show for a while. And even when I left to China or whatever and I came back, she was still like open arms, like, hey, if you're available, you can definitely come by. One of the people had gotten, like, want to do something else on their own. So she was just like, yeah, I'm looking for a producer. Do you want to, like, come and produce the show? And I was like, yeah, girl. Like, I'm already looking for a job. I just got back into the States. Like, when you're gone for a whole year, it's like you got to start all over again.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I left when I was young, but I mean, it's different though, because I was thinking about doing a study abroad program. I was an undergrad too, and then I was thinking about just doing it now. So, you know what? I really don't want to be in the States, to be honest.
I think you should do it.
And now you work at NBC. Please tell us a little about that. You know I love NBC, because most of my shows I watch is actually on NBC, like NBC old stuff.
Yeah, like this show is a little, this was weird too. This happened when I was making my transition. So like when I was making the transition from Hot into like going back into like scripted television. Because I pretty much dipped into like everything. Where it was like scripted, where it was live, where it was a talk show, radio show, or even like music videos. So I wanted to get back into scripted shows so that way I can like learn how to produce content like that. Because producing for like radio and for like a talk show is completely different than like a scripted show. So when I did that, I made the move, made the decision. I ended up leaving Hot 97. Was just like, hey, I just want to venture out and do like my own thing. And so when I did that, my first show was actually She's Gotta Have It after I finished Hot.
That is my show?
Yeah.
The first or second season?
I did the second season.
Okay, I remember seeing that on your Instagram, but I didn't know which season you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was on that for a little bit, and then I ended up getting a job with FBI right across the street from She's Gotta Have It. So I was just like, oh, like that's convenient, you know what I mean?
God.
Yeah.
That is God.
It was just, everything was just lining up. I was like, okay. So right now I'm just in the space of learning how to produce content like that, which requires me to know about money and like budgets and how the money's transferred throughout the department and like stuff like that and how it all comes together as far as money. Because when you're producing stuff like this, it's more like you're being creative in terms of a budget. But there's also different sides of producing too that you can do, which allows you to be more creative outside of money.
That is true.
Yeah.
I think we all need to actually learn that. That's why I'm back in school just to
Yeah.
learn stuff, because I'm actually taking a class in media management and media sales and marketing. So it's actually going to teach me that side. Because, baby, I'm trying to take this to the TV. Hello?
No, I know.
Baby, I'm not coming for you, baby. We're going to be sitting in the same seat. Okay?
Okay.
Right next to each other and saying, how you doing? Okay. I love it. But, okay, so tell everybody where can they find you and what advice that you have for people that are trying to be producers, and especially in this industry. This industry is no joke. You got to have some tough balls for it.
No, seriously.
And a strong back.
Yeah. Like within, I mean, okay, well you can find me on, because I'm like, let me start with that. So you can find me on Instagram at Melissa X Quinones, spelled Quinones. But, I mean, I think the best advice that I can give within this industry in general is just like being persistent. It's just like, so my friend and I were at Barnes and Nobles, it's important. And she was reading Kobe Bryant's memoir, right?
Yeah.
And then there was one quote that she said where she was just like, Kobe said, like, not everyone is destined to be great.
That is true.
And she read that out loud. And that was the only thing she read out loud when she was reading, as she was reading the book. She was like, not everyone is meant to be great. And when she said that, I'm like, damn, is that me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just thinking, like, am I one of the people that's not meant to be great? So when I read that, it was just like, okay, let me analyze this. So then I started reading like scriptures, right? And the one thing that's like repetitive in the scriptures that I was reading was discipline. And I was like, okay, what separates most people from each other is, or no, what separates successful people from non-successful people is the discipline, right? Like you can want to do something. You can be so much talented than someone else that you see. How many times have you like watched the movie and been like, damn, I could act way better than her? Or been like, yo, I can produce that way better. Or that quality sucked. But the difference between you and that other person is the fact that they had the discipline and they had the consistency. You could be way more talented, but no one knows that if you're not putting anything out.
Exactly.
So I think that's what my advice would be. It's just like, if there's anything that you want to do, pursue it wholeheartedly. Don't just do like a little bit and be like, okay, that's it, I'm done. You know what I mean? Or get tired of it and don't come back to it the next day. Like if you're going to do something, be consistent at it and be disciplined in whatever that is.
You'll be a preaching. She is
I'm
preaching.
trying. That's the one thing that's...
But that's actually excellent advice, because I feel like you are your hardest critic. And child, like I'm not gonna lie, I could be lazy, but I was like, if I'm gonna make it in this industry, I have to really push myself. And it was like some people like, Sabrina, you don't act like a New Yorker. You're like too laid back. I can't help it. But you know what? That's true though. And I remember you always tell me that all the time. Always tell me that all the time. That,
and the other thing is, if I had to drop one more thing, it would be know what it is that you want and go after what it is that you want. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Don't take any, I want my pinky toe in the door, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this little marketing job, even though I know I hate marketing, but because I want my pinky toe in the door, I'm just gonna take that job. Sometimes you end up getting pigeonholed in that job or in that very position. So you have to have a plan. If you know what it is that you want, you go for that and you don't accept anything less. And if you're going to take a job to get your pinky toe in the door, then what you do is you turn that job into something that works for you. So if I'm here to do marketing, I'm walking in this room and I'm going to be like, bruh, I need to speak to you because you do this and this is what I need to do. So whenever you need help, when I'm done with this, I'm coming over here to you. My third thing, real quick, would be, because as I'm continuing, I'm like, wait a minute. My other thing would be when you're in a room, know the room that you are in. Know that room. Because sometimes you be going there just to meet a friend that's in a high place. And you're just like, oh, hey, girl. No, you can speak to your friend, hey, girl, for a second, but then know that room so you can go ahead and talk to other people that can get you to where you need to be. Don't just be in that room for the sake of being in. If you're only in there for a limited amount of time because you can't visit that friend all the time, and Lord knows in these jobs, it's security based. So if you can't get past security, and you were there that one time, and that's the day that you get past security, utilize that space to the best of your ability. Know who you need to talk to and who can get you where, so that way you can hurry up and speed this process along.
Amen.
So that's what I have to say.
So thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm your host, Sabrina Williams, and again, this is Sabrina Williams Identity.